A safety alert tonight for owners of a certain model of the Ford Crown Victoria and issues involving the car's steering. A Local 10 investigation prompted police agencies to inspect thousands of their own patrol cars.
And what they've found is alarming. Local 10's Roger Losi has the pictures behind these cruiser concerns.
They're the vehicle most widely used by law enforcement agencies around the country, the Ford Crown Victoria. But this popular patrol car is now the subject of a nationwide recall.
The result is that the officers lose steering and lose control of the vehicle.
Rick Elsley represents the family of Broward Sheriff's Deputy Daniel Rivera, who died following a horrific wreck in his patrol car in September. Investigators still haven't determined why Rivera veered off the road. 2 weeks before his crash, on August 29th, Ford issued a voluntary recall of more than 350,000 Crown Victorias and similar models, all sold and registered in 22 northern and mid-Atlantic states, where crews use salt to clear ice and snow from the roads. The problem? Salt causes corrosion, and corrosion can cause the lower shaft of the steering column in the Crown Vic to become dislodged or separate altogether from the upper portion. Florida wasn't included on that recall list, despite our year-round exposure to a salty environment.
When this issue was brought to our attention, we put the VIN numbers of all of our Crown Victorias through Ford's Oasis system, and none of our vehicles were in the system for a recall or a cancel.
Jonathan Appel is in charge of the Broward Sheriff's Office fleet of patrol cars, nearly 1,000 of which are Ford Crown Victorias.
After our report in September, BSO ordered the inspection of all 960 Crown Vics in its fleet, and the results were cause for concern.
More than 24 vehicles where the steering column had begun to separate. You see that green bearing? That shouldn't be exposed. It's supposed to be pushed up into the steering shaft.
We had 26 vehicles that failed inspection. Those 26 vehicles were sent to Ford, and the steering column components were replaced.
Following BSO's inspection, other local police agencies have now begun to look at their Crown Vics too, and last month, Ford widened its voluntary recall to include all vehicles not included in its initial inquiry, regardless of the state. Ford says there have been no accidents or injuries connected to this corrosive problem. Deputy Rivera's Crown Vic is still being inspected.
We can't say anything definitively. All we can say is that this information is out there, it's public. We're glad that they're looking into this.
Roger Losi, Local 10 News.
And Roger tells us Ford is notifying Crown Victoria owners about the voluntary recall, offering to inspect the vehicle's steering components and make repairs if necessary, free of charge.